I'm so glad somebody brought up journaling because let me tell you how journaling is a great start if you don't know where to start when it comes to healing from anything, but especially abuse. I'm not trying to put anything over anything. I'm just saying from my experience being in a relationship with someone who wants you to feel crazy, who doesn't want you to trust yourself, who need you to depend on them, and they kind of they get you messed up in here. Like, I'm trying to find the words. Like, they really, being with someone who messes with your mind so deeply, they feed on your traumas, they feed on your insecurities, they learn you so they can hurt you, they learn you so they can break you. That is the entire goal when you're dealing with an abusive person. And if you've ever experienced that, whether it's a romantic partner or a family member or a boss, no matter who it was, it can be so debilitating. It can take so much from you. It really can. Journaling is how I got started because being in that relationship, I felt like I was losing my mind. I felt like I was losing pieces of time. And I had to start writing things down. And writing things down allowed me to remember things that happened, remembering how I felt when it happened. So, when you don't, when you're in the abusive relationship and you come back after having a fight or they did something wild and you go through the honeymoon stage again because they're manipulating you and they're love bombing you again, and you forget why you was mad. You forget why you left in the first place. Because I was journaling, that didn't happen as often. That slowly stopped happening when I was journaling daily, when I was journaling every other day. Journaling legit saved my life. And I was going through the healing process not too long ago in terms of years. And I created a journal for myself that I was like, I want to sell this to the people. I call it a recovery routine journal. And it's a mental health essential for self-soothing. I was like, I need something that helps me. So I just made it. I just made something that could help me. And hopefully it'll help other people when I finish working on it, when it's all done. But journaling, I'm telling you, journaling, okay? Sometimes we don't know what questions to ask ourselves. I have questions in the book, okay, that I feel like could help you. Sometimes we don't know how to feel the anxiety and the stress in our bodies. Sometimes we don't know what the hell it is. This is why I was saying education is important. We need to understand abuse. We need to understand what happens to our nervous system when we are in abusive relationships. We need to know what happens when we're out of it. Because just because we break up with somebody or leave, that does not mean that's the end. That's why I said sometimes the most important part for some people is after the fact. Okay, I'm gone. Okay, here's where the real work starts. Like, you got out and that's great, but there's so much peeling back layers and healing that you have to do afterwards, because your mind, your brain literally has changed. And depending on the severity, and this is not like a trauma Olympics, but when we think of someone like Cassie, I can only imagine how much work she's had to do. I can only imagine. And everybody's different. Everybody's threshold for emotional and physical pain is different. So I'm not saying this in a way to compare traumas and to compare pains. All I'm saying is we all require different levels of effort, different levels of care, different levels of healing. But the one thing we all have in common is we absolutely deserve to take as much time as we need, no matter what it was, no matter what it is. Even if you wanted to rate everybody's trauma on a scale, I bet you we all need time. As much time as we need, as much time as you need to take, baby, because you gonna need that. As much time as you're going to need. Okay? I just had to get that one out.